The following program, The Lightning Strike, is sponsored by Mohammed Fahim, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
Get ready to be jolted out of the ordinary and into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Fahim, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Fahim.
Welcome to another edition of the Lightning Strike. With me in the studios today, Alderman John Arena.
Good morning.
Ken DeLuke.
Howdy, folks.
And our segment producer for our Person of the Week, Sheila White.
Happy holidays.
And also joining us today, but in an observer role, is our advisor, Mr. Mark Ferry.
Howdy.
Okay, so Mark says howdy. But we got a lot of stuff to cover as usual, and the number to call in if you want to join the conversation is 773. 773-763-9278 or 763-WCPT. We come to you live every Sunday morning from 9 to 10, folks, and looking at what is happening in our world, in our country. The next 4 years are going to be challenging for us because our good president-elect, who likes to eat all kinds of hamburgers and things for breakfast, wants to shut down the Department of Education. Now, here's what that could mean, okay? In 1979, then President Jimmy Carter, a Democrat from Georgia, signed legislation making the Department of Education a cabinet-level agency, and he was fulfilling a campaign pledge he made to one of the country's largest teachers' union, the National Educational Association. So unions, please take note. Our president-elect is not going to be union-friendly, okay? He wants to shut down the Department of Education just for a start, and here's that could... that's what it could mean, so we're going to discuss about that. We're going to discuss about the FBI director resigning and running away before the new president comes in. And we're also going to talk about why hasn't the U.S. been trying to fix its health insurance problems. Man, I got something to say on that. And we're also going to see if we can get a local doctor to call in to talk about some of the issues that he was talking about to me and Ken the other day. Biden also has granted clemency for nearly 1,500 people, the biggest single-day act of clemency in modern history. Those are the things that I want to talk about, guys. And we got also the Ontario Prime Minister says that Canada could cut U.S. energy supplies in retaliation for Trump tariffs. And that is going to be fun. You guys got anything that you want to get off your chest, John?
I can't wait for Kerry Lake to start running the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And yes, Sunday morning I'm being facetious right off the bat.
Okay.
I hope you all can follow that.
I thought she was doing Radio Free Europe, no?
Well, she's governor and senator now, so
Linda McMahon, don't forget about Linda McMahon. Come on.
Wow. Yeah, and
Okay.
She's the Department of Education. That's a whole other animal. We'll get to all of that in the next hour, I'm sure.
But isn't that the department that what's his name wants to just go ahead and shut it down?
The Department of Education. Yes, we just need to get rid of that. But we're gonna do a whole lot of great things.
Okay.
Like defund public education and make sure everybody has choice, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes there.
And so, Sheila, you want to talk about who's our Person of the Week today?
Yeah, our Person of the Week is Lashina Jenkins, and she runs an organization called She Creates. We need some good news and all of this bad news things that's going on. But Lashina Jenkins is our Person of the Week, and we'd like to welcome her to the Lightning Strike on this morning.
Well, let's start off with our Person of the Week, folks. And if you want to join the conversation, the number to call in is 773-763-9278. And Lashina, good morning. Welcome to the Lightning Strike.
Good morning, Mohammed. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us, and it's always a pleasure to talk with somebody who's making a difference in society. So, Sheila, you want to go ahead and introduce Lashina, see what she's talking about?
Lashina is the president and founder of She Creates, located in the Chicagoland area. She's doing a phenomenal job helping a lot of individuals with the hurting things that they're going through dance. So, Lashina, talk to us a little bit about some of the programs you have with She Creates.
Sure. Thank you so much, Sheila. So as you all mentioned, I am Lashina Jenkins. I am the founder and executive director of She Creates, a non-for-profit wellness theater company. We are on a mission to not just entertain, but to heal, empower, and transform lives through the power of creative expression. Today, I'm inviting you to be a part of something bigger, something that will change the lives of young people and the entire community, one story at a time. At She Creates, we believe in the transformative power of storytelling. But we don't just tell stories, we heal them. We create a space where art is not just an escape, but a path to healing, where the most vulnerable voices, especially from marginalized communities, can reclaim their narratives and stand tall. We're not just empowering artists, we're healing hearts, restoring self-worth, and building a stronger, more connected community. And we're doing it through dance, through movement, and through performance.
And that's
what I would ask our listeners. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was so important, Muhammad, because with all of this craziness going on today, healing and trauma, we need to have more arts. We need to focus on something more positive. And that's what Lashina is doing, helping individuals to be able to express themselves with the trauma that they're going through art forms.
Well, Lashina, here's the thing that I keep on preaching every single day of my life. That, the 4 words in the English language that really keep me going every day is, this too shall pass. Okay? Nothing is permanent. So this crazy 4 years that are going to come, we're going to go through it. We're going to get through it. So let us not, flip over and say, yeah, woe be me, my world has come to an end.
Mohammed, the good news, it's probably not going to be 4 years. It's probably going to be 2 years.
Hopefully.
Okay. And from Ken's mouth to God's ears, okay? But here's the thing, folks. Don't get freaked out that Trump is going to do this, Trump is going to do that. By the way, let's be careful what we talk about Trump, okay? Because ABC News just ended up paying $15 million to Trump and $1 million in attorney's fees because
one word was
Stephanopoulos.
Did Rudy Giuliani get any of that $1 million?
No. Okay. But Stephanopoulos used a word that Trump claimed that he never did, even though he's been convicted of, 34 different felonies? Right. But that aside, Lashina, please continue. Let us know how we can help you in your mission.
Sure. Well, first I want to invite our readers to just imagine for a moment a young child, maybe 5 or 6 years old, coming home to parents that might be disembodied, might be focused on some of the challenges that you talk about on your show, and just looking for a way to use that voice. So now imagine this child or even a teenager stepping onto a stage, feeling the music in their bones and moving in a way that tells their story without words. Through dance, they heal, and through creativity, they discover who they are and what they are actually capable of. So this is what She Creates offers, a chance to transform pain into power, confusion into clarity, and silence into expression. We provide a platform where youth can play, explore, and express themselves freely. This is more than just creative space. It's a sanctuary for those who have been overlooked, for those whose voices have been silenced. It's a space where they can step into their potential and discover what's possible. And so I'm happy to be here to personally invite you all to witness this magic at our upcoming show, She Crumps, on Saturday, September 21st, and on the this coming Saturday, 21st. This is not just another performance. It is an opportunity to witness the power of storytelling through dance.
That would be December 21st, right?
That's correct, yes. And the doors open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7. We're going to be at the Edge Theater in Chicago on Broadway.
Lashina, if by chance we can't make it in person, is there a YouTube video or anything that we can experience that?
Well, we're still working on streaming platforms currently, but for now we are planning to record it, so it might be something that you can access after the performance.
Great. Make sure you give us those links, and we'll promote that in a future show.
Okay, Lashina,
Sure
thank you so
thing.
much for joining us. Folks, that is Lashina Jenkins with She Creates, a great organization that is coming up so we can all participate and get some creative juices flowing out there. Okay, Sunday mornings, we are here from 9 to 10 on WCPT, Chicago's progressive talk radio station, one of the best in the country, folks. We are taking a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side of the break with some more conversation on what Mr. Trump wants to do and what his newly nominated, I would say, person who wants to head the FBI wants to do, Mr. Patel. He seems to think that the FBI is a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts or a motel or whatever, and he wants to shut it down on day one and then reopen the next day under new management.
A deep state donut factory? Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, so we'll take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side of the break, and if you want to join us again, the number to call in 773-763-9278.
Your voice matters more than ever. Are you registered to vote? If not, don't wait. Download the Vote IQ app today. Vote IQ gives you all the information you need on local and national offices, plus constant updates on the political news that affects you. It's easy, it's free, and it's your key to making informed decisions. Visit the Play Store or go online to www.app.voteiq.org. Your vote is your power. Make it count. Download the app now and ensure you make an informed decision at the polls.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Okay, folks, good morning. Welcome back to the Lightning Strike. We are here Sunday mornings from 9 to 10 on WCPT, Chicago's progressive talk radio station. And if you want to join the conversation, feel free to call in or text us at 773-763-9278. Sunday mornings, it is about 9:18 a.m. John, you were saying something during the break.
Oh, you had mentioned the defamation lawsuit that Trump. It wasn't. He didn't win the case. It was a settlement, and it's a $15 million settlement plus $1 million to legal fees. The $15 million is supposed to go to the, quote, Presidential Foundation and Museum to be established by or for a plaintiff, as presidents of the United States of America have established in the past.
And that might be run by one of Trump's children, I guess.
Or their children or children's children. But here's the thing. He was in office once, and as we remember the horror show that was, the dumpster fire, and yet he still has presented no plans to create this. So we don't even know if this $15 million will go to anything.
He has a concept of a plan.
He has
I love it. It's always a concept.
Yes. So okay. Yeah. So the juxtap is it was a settlement. Stephanopoulos used the term that he was convicted of rape. He was not. He was convicted of sexual assault. So let's not split the hairs here too much, right? He's also sued every other in this story on BBC.com. He sued CBS, BBC, and other U.S. broadcasters for things he's made up that people have said about him. So
one of the
this is the litigious nature of our president.
One of the things, folks, that I don't understand is why do we have a president-elect who is still hawking stuff? Okay, now he's trying to sell what? Trump wines or something like that? Trump liquors?
Well, yeah, he's going to sell. Now it's the odor of Trump, I guess. Yeah. But hey, look, it's important to note that he actually lost the case against E. Jean Carroll for defamation and sexual assault, and has a $83 million settlement that he has to pay to the former journalist. So let's not leave out
the other side.
Of what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. The fact that we're having a president splitting hairs that rape versus sexual assault in the narrow definition of rape within the law, he was convicted of sexual assault and has to pay $83 million. So that's a truth.
John, you're missing the big picture.
Am I?
Yes, because Trump wants to get rid of daylight savings time.
Well, damn. I should have voted for the guy. On that, why wasn't that in the headlines? Why wasn't that on?
It actually is.
Here's the thing, folks. I have already made my list, and I want to repeat it like every Sunday, if not every other Sunday. The day after the election, core inflation was 2.2%.
Yes.
The Dow was 43,492. Unemployment was 4.1%. In MAGA minds now, that was the reason to get rid of the president's party. Now, given that Trump has promised to do everything Herbert Hoover did between 1929 and 1933, we will see how that works out for them. Okay, this guy's already backtracking, says, well, I don't have any control over grocery prices. Well, you promised that you were going to bring down grocery prices once you got elected, didn't you?
The only reason you have the word groceries is because he invented the word groceries.
He invented the word gross.
Did you hear the interview that he did where he said, groceries? Nobody's ever thought about.
Did you know that apples are stored in the refrigerator in the grocery store?
Oh, and is a refrigerator the box that keeps things cold in my house? 'Cause now I have a new word for that.
Now let's also not forget that AIPAC friends spent $53 million backing pro-Israel candidates on both sides of the aisle in the 2024 election cycle.
Yes,
and they boast that 98% of their endorsees have won the general elections on November 5th. Now, during the primary season, AIPAC's efforts successfully ousted 24 anti-Israel politicians, including the progressive squad members Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush. I just hope that the military now uphold their oath and remember that part about defending the Constitution against all threats, foreign and domestic. If they honor and obey that, our democracy might stand a chance, because now Trump wants to bring in the military and the National Guard to round up all the illegals. On day one, I'm going to send back the largest. What is this guy smoking? That's what I want to know, man. I know he doesn't drink, but he's obviously smoking something.
Well,
and it's probably his own brand.
Sooner or later, he'll have his own brand of whatever it is he's smoking.
And logistically, how do you send 11 million people anywhere? I mean, just think of what that would entail. How many airline flights, how many buses, and where are they going to go once they go across the border?
Private prison camps they're going to build.
And there's not one country that's going to take everybody. They're like, no, you're not sending everybody back over here.
The logistics of this are insane. So we currently deport somewhere between 250,000 to 300,000 people a year. That has been pretty consistent if you look at the statistics. Obama actually deported more people year over year than Trump did year over year. So this is what we do. And those are the people who commit crimes, that get caught, that are here illegally and then commit some kind of crime. The idea that we're going to get rid of target sanctuary cities or sanctuary states is ridiculous, because all that is that if you get pulled over for a taillight, we don't ask you for your papers, right? Because everybody would then have to be asked for their papers. So if you want to spend 20 minutes finding your passport when you go to the grocery store, so if you get pulled over, you can prove you're a U.S. citizen. Good luck with that.
It's going to be very
the logistics of 11 million people, you couldn't even do 1 million a year. You'd have to spend $80 billion for all of the infrastructure. And plus, where's the plane going to land? Where's the bus going to land?
Exactly.
Where you're deporting these people. The other countries, and some of these folks have no other country.
Yeah.
Right. There's the DACA, right? The Dreamers. He said, "Oh, we'll figure that out." But there's been a plan to do that since Obama, and the Republicans wouldn't do that kind of obvious thing where you have a 20-something-year-old who served in the military, and you can't see your way to making this person a citizen in a 7-year period, right? I mean, there's ways to do humane things. But if you look at Homan, Bluto, I call him, this guy who's going around saying we're just gonna like kick in doors, but not separate families.
Well, that's the thing.
We're just gonna take the whole family and ship them to someplace they've never been, that has no place to house them either. So
even if they were born here, even if the children were born here, we don't want to separate families, which means that everyone has to go.
Well, I don't think that these people have read the Constitution. Ever,
no.
Okay.
And again, I've said this before, the ACLU is already primed. If you have a few hours this Christmas season to support a good cause and defend the Constitution, that's a great way. These are things that are going to be litigated over and over again and
Oh, yeah.
be in the news as we go forward.
Yep.
And rightfully so, because these are constitutional rights. He has said he wants to get rid of birthright citizenship. And he said in the same interview where he invented groceries, he said that, well, we're the only country that has it, and yet there's 36 countries that have birthright citizenship.
Well, here's the thing, folks. Just want to make sure that people are aware that Donald Trump's presidency, the first presidency, did not end well. Just in case you need it, here's a quick refresher. That shouldn't take too long, by the way, okay? So Donald Trump was the first president since Herbert Hoover to oversee a net job loss. Unemployment soared and the economy shrank by more than 3%. Corporate profits went up, while manufacturing jobs declined. Home prices soared by nearly 30%. The national debt rose by nearly $8 trillion. Now, despite the number of Americans without health insurance, it also rose by 3 million, and the number of presidents who have humped American flags went from 0 to 1. Okay. So he undercut the nation's response to a deadly pandemic that spiraled out of control because he ignored warnings about it, lied about its severity, disbanded agencies that were tasked with preparing for it, promoted sham treatments for it, and now his new incoming health secretary claimed that, the whole COVID thing was a sham, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and speaking of that, he also wants to ban the polio vaccine. Are you serious? My aunt had polio, okay? And she was 2 steps away from being in an iron lung, and he wants to reverse, decades of science to go back to something that's going to literally hurt children. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
And by the way, as that immigration situation you were talking about, it would be an economic disaster. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally a disaster. You would have farmers that would go out of business because they wouldn't have anybody, taking in the crops. You would have inflation soaring through the skylights because, you talk about eggs. A tomato is going to cost you $10 a piece because you can't get any tomatoes. He wants to put tariffs on Mexico, which supplies 60% of our produce. Okay, that's a tax.
90% of avocados come from.
Avocados.
Eat that guac now because it's going to cost $30.
Can we stock up on those avocados now? Because
they don't last, man. Not even in the icebox cold thing.
Well, not to mention the workforce. You lose a lot of workforce. There are a lot of people that are working in corporations, small businesses, and things like that. So it just doesn't add
and all
up.
those people are actually paying into taxes, which they're not even going to be able to claim the benefits for.
Right.
So here's the thing, folks.
Here's the interesting thing. So it's what's behind the curtain, right? This is a Wizard of Oz kind of thing. What he did in the first term when he implemented these tariffs, what he can also do is give exceptions to certain companies that petition for an exception to the tariff. Okay. Guess what? I'm pretty sure that if we track the $1 million contribution to Trump's whatever fund, there's going to be a correlation to who gets exceptions and who does not.
Exactly.
Well, let's keep that in mind, folks. And again, if you want to join the conversation, feel free to call in. Our number is 773-763-9278. Sunday mornings, we are here from 9 to 10, holding the fort down for you in a progressive society that we want to create over here, right? We'll take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side of the break with some more informational conversation without getting sued, I guess. Okay, so we're going to keep.
We'll do what we can.
Okay, I don't have $15 million. Maybe Mark can put up some money for us.
You'll wait a long time for that.
Okay, folks, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side of the break. Thank you very much for listening to us.
Are you ready to spark change? Tune in to the Lightning Strike Talk Radio Show, where we tackle today's biggest issues with a bold, progressive voice. Hosted by Muhammad Fahim, we dive deep into politics, social justice, and the stories that shape our communities. Want to stay informed and inspired? Head over to tlsradio.com for full episodes, exclusive content, and updates on upcoming shows. That's tlsradio.com, where lightning strikes.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Muhammad Fahim.
And then after that, it drops.
Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the Lightning Strike. Again, the number to call us is 773-763-9278 if you want to join the conversation. And let us continue with, with what our great incoming president has said that. He said that he had the best memory in the world and completely forgot about a couple of things, got laughed at by the United Nations, including the Germans, got impeached for threatening to withhold military aid from Ukraine, and encouraged Russia to interfere in our elections the last time and also this time. He doctored a weather map with a Sharpie. Remember that? To lie about the path of a hurricane.
Hey, that totally worked. That totally worked. Come on.
And threw paper towels at hurricane victims. Called Hannibal Lecter his wonderful man. A chief of staff called him an idiot. Okay, so there you go. His national security advisor also called him names, and the Secretary of State called him, I'm not even going to say what he called him. He got on a plane with toilet paper stuck to his shoe, man. Come on, and didn't know how to close an umbrella. This is the guy that our so-called MAGA friends voted to bring in. Again, folks, I'm pretty sure they're having buyer's remorse now.
Oh, I
Well,
don't
they
know
will
about
have
that.
buyer's remorse
I
once
don't
he's in
believe
office.
that. No, it's all about owning the libs for a lot of these. Like I would say, the 30% who are just like, let's just burn it all down. You know, for them, it is literally just look what we got to do, and I correlate that to saying, well, I'm going to burn my house down, and then I'm going to go around and burn everybody else's house down, and then say we won. Like that's the metaphor I take to this. They think that he's going to upend this, and you've got Peter Thiel, who's a venture capitalist that kind of props up soon-to-be Vice President Vance, who was on Piers Morgan and couldn't articulate any clear idea of what's going on with our healthcare system. Why was he even on getting asked this question? So,
Okay.
There we go. We had a
So
little break in there.
we wanted to pivot a little bit and talk about what's happening with our health insurance system, folks. So we have this
There's a
United
segue.
Health CEO who was obviously, allegedly, because we have to use that word till the guy is actually convicted in a court of law, okay, by Luigi Mangione. What a great name, okay? So
Somebody's going to write a song with that.
okay. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think that it was something that, because a lot of people online now, social media is full of people supporting Luigi Mangione, and a GoFundMe for his legal expenses raised more than $50,000 in the first couple of days. So obviously there is a lot of angst out there about our healthcare system, especially for people who are 65 plus, who are on Medicare now. That system is so messed up. I have no idea who came up with this great program. Mark, we have been paying into Medicare all our lives, right?
Yeah.
So it's not something that it's an entitlement that we are asking for the government to give something back to us.
There's no such thing as entitlements.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is our money.
We purchased it.
Yes, that's
We
right.
purchased it, we bought it, and now when it is time for us to collect, these insurance companies are coming up with so-called Medicare Advantage plans. There's no advantage in the Medicare Advantage plans.
So I think it's really important to not lump Medicare into one big system and condemn it, because the reality is, and we're working on some information for a future show, but you have Part A and B. And Part A and B is traditional Medicare.
Right.
But under Reagan, in his second term, they created this Part C, which is now branded as Medicare Advantage. You see, you can't watch any kind of cable or anything without seeing 30 commercials about how there might be benefits for you. What Medicare Advantage is a privatized version of Medicare. So while I was doing some research on this, the cost to administer Medicare's Part A and B, which is wholly administered by the federal government, includes the VA, it includes traditional Medicare, is about 1.6%. So let's just round it to 2. To administer this private version that we invented, because God knows we can't have anything that doesn't cost us more by privatizing it in America, that costs about 15% to administer. because it turns out when you have a profit margin that you have to satisfy first, that increases the cost of delivering the service. The federal government, any government, has no profit incentive. It has a delivery, efficiency and a delivery incentive, but it does not have a profit margin that it has to cover. So it's clear what we have to do is separate those two things. And what we're hearing from the right is what we want to do, and they're trying to rebrand Medicare for All, which came out of Bernie Sanders' campaign, as Medicare Advantage for All. So they want to co-opt, right, a messaging that is popular, because when you ask people, 60+% say they would like healthcare to be expanded that way. What they want to do is make the federal government's efficient program an inefficient, privately funded program. So this is what we're dealing with. This and what motivated, this accused killer was the fact that in a private system where the profit margin is important over patient outcomes, you deny claims first and make sure that a large percentage won't pursue the next steps in the process. You also tell doctors, we're going to pay you less because we're just not getting enough value for our shareholders. So the question is, what does America want? Does America want health care delivered efficiently and effectively at lower cost the way Medicare does now? Or do they want to make sure the shareholders get first dibs before you get medical treatment?
Well, here's the thing, folks, okay? The CEOs of the top 10 health insurance companies were paid between $13 million and $22 million in total compensation.
How are they getting by?
In 2022. Okay, this includes salary, bonuses, and other pay.
I think we should get them a tax cut.
Okay. Now, these 10 companies cover more than 60% of the commercial health insurance market. Largest, United Health Group, covering almost 18% of market share. That's 53 million people covered. Its CEO, Andrew Witty, took home like $20 million in 2022. He wasn't the highest paid, however. Okay? Joseph Zubretsky, CEO of Molina Healthcare. Ever heard that name?
No.
With only 2.16% of the market, was paid $22 million. And his company covers 4.2 million people. What do you think is the denial rate of that company?
Well, considering now that they actually have artificial intelligence built into their programming so they can figure out the best way to deny a claim, I would say it's a pretty high percentage.
Yeah, see, United Health Group had like $324 billion in revenues in 2022. Molina Healthcare had just under $32 billion. So I don't know what's happening, folks.
People are upset. That's why it happened.
No, I am
That's why we're seeing this.
Okay?
Yes.
I had Aetna for my health care this year, and I kept on getting phone calls from these people saying, hey, we got this, we got that, we got this. And because I had a procedure earlier this year, an angiogram and stuff like that, they suddenly decided to up my drug costs for next year. So it was like $500 and some odd dollars that I was paying last year for Part D, whatever the drug cost. You know how much they jacked it up to, Mark? Almost $14,000.
Well, that's reasonable.
And that is on the Medicare.gov
Have you seen the price of pharmaceuticals these days? Come
website, okay?
Have you seen the price of eggs? Go back to that. That's the main
Oh, wait.
thing.
That's the real problem.
That's the real problem.
The real problem is eggs are 20
now I
cents
keep getting
more.
calls from Aetna saying, oh, by the way, there's some kind of a change in your pharmacy coverage. They dropped one of the medications that I really needed after my surgery, okay? And then they want to jack my price from 500 something to almost 14.
Yeah. And now they're limiting. This is amazing. We live in a country where we talk about, we have choices, we can do whatever we want. And this was the argument. Like, do you want to be able to choose your doctor, socialized medicine, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, our health care in our family went from United Healthcare to Blue Cross Blue Shield, back to Blue Cross Blue Shield after 2 years ago switching. But what's interesting is now we can't go to CVS, we can only go to Walgreens.
Oh, where's the choice? Where's the choice?
So now they're making deals amongst themselves at every level, investing in each other and saying, how do we maximize our profits? And you don't get as much choice to go to the pharmacy you were going to where you're being served well by this particular pharmacy. You have to go where we tell you to. So how is this not the actual animal that they're threatening is going to happen in socialized medicine, that we won't have choice, all of a sudden is limiting our choice?
Folks, if you want to participate in this conversation, give us a call at 773-763-9278.
Okay, so here's the thing, okay? Most of these insurance companies now are ending up owning the pharmaceutical suppliers, and CVS, like Aetna owns CVS or CVS owns Aetna, and now they're actually going out and buying hospitals also, okay? Wow. So now you go figure, folks. We're going to get it coming and going. And do you think that Mr. Incoming Health Secretary, whose brain was eaten up by a worm, is up to the task to handle this kind of pressure?
That's why people are upset. And I think we need to pay attention to why people are outcrying about this. It's something that we should listen to. People are really mad about this.
Well, here's the thing, folks. If you are mad, please remember that the elections come every 2 years for Congress, and the next congressional elections, come out and vote. Make sure that you get your voice heard. It is very important that we come out and vote. And in order for us to vote correctly, you need to find out about the candidates who are running. What are their backgrounds? What are they standing for? And then we want to make sure that we elect the right people and hold them accountable. That is what we have been preaching for the last 1 year now. On that note, let's take a quick break and come back on the other side of the break with some more conversation. You're tuned in to The Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim. With me in the studios today, Ken DeLuke, John Arena, and Sheila White. And Mark Ferry is also joining us today.
Are you a business looking for the right talent or a job seeker searching for your dream career? Look no further than the Center for Strategic Solutions, your workforce solution experts. Our experienced team at the Center for Strategic Solutions is dedicated to connecting employers with top-tier talent and helping job seekers find opportunities that truly align with their goals. We're more than just consultants. We're your partners in success. Ready to take your workforce to the next level or land that ideal job? Contact the Center for Strategic Solutions today at 1-847-306-9274 or visit us online at www.cfssus.com. The Center for Strategic Solutions, your bridge to a brighter future in the Windy City. The number to call is 847-306-9274 or send an email to info@cfssus.com. That is info@cfssus.com.
Welcome back to The Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, folks. Welcome back to The Lightning Strike. Mohammed Fahim with you here. Sunday mornings, we are here from 9 to 10 on WCPT, Chicago's progressive talk radio station, every Sunday come rain or shine. And you're always welcome to go to our website, tlschicago.com. Send us a message if you want to be a person of the week over here. Our person of the week producer, Sheila White, will definitely reach out to you and bring you in. If you're doing something good in the community, let us know, and we'll make sure that the community hears about it. Okay, John, coming back to Biden pardoning his son now. And he has recently announced on Thursday that he's commuting the sentences of 1,500 individuals. He's pardoning 39 people convicted of nonviolent crimes. Let's make that definition clear in there.
Yeah, these are all nonviolent.
Yep. So White House officials are saying that the president has come under growing pressure to grant more clemencies before he leaves office. And do you think that he is going to be creating some pardons for Nancy Pelosi and others before he leaves?
I mean, I know that's being discussed quite a bit. I'm not exactly sure that preemptive pardons for false accusations is an avenue we want to go down. Mm-hmm. I think that's a bit troubling. I think him pardoning his son, I could really care less. I mean, nobody has ever gone to jail for or been targeted for what he was convicted of. So he's paid his fines. That's not the issue. It's being made an issue. But the reality is equal application of the law would not have seen him be targeted the way he was with the special prosecutor. So they were just using that to try to get to Biden and to create stories. So that was a media manufactured and right-wing manufactured issue.
John, I got to disagree on the one point that you made, because as soon as the website comes up, get your pardon here, I'm going to apply because I know I'm going to be in trouble come January 20th.
You're okay with the preemptive pardons?
I'm just going to point to you guys, because this show is, sponsored by Mohammed Fahim, and to the extent possible with the guests who come on. So I'm going to put you guys under the bus.
Yeah, but it's your name on this damn thing.
Okay, now my name is Ken, but you can spell that backward.
Okay,
so he did. I think there was a couple pardons in there. One particularly, Dixon, Illinois' comptroller had,
really
stolen a lot of money.
Up. Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure that's. That was a bit Trumpian, where he pardoned Blagojevich for trying to sell a Senate seat. I mean, that kind of. I just really don't understand that particular pardon. But out of the 1,500, we know that the reason the pardon was put in there is that it was a measure to say, look, our justice system can't be perfect, and when it isn't, there needs to be some way of kind of balancing the scales. And look. A lot of people of color have been disproportionately targeted with drug convictions. A lot of these pardons from Democrat and Trump, some of Trump's pardons were addressing those inequities. And that's what the pardon system is for. Now, Trump is proposing, if we're going to compare notes here, where he's going to pardon the January 6th terrorists. Those were the people that were scaling the walls and kicking in windows and literally defecating on desks in our nation's capital to disrupt a free and fair election. He's going to pardon those people. He said he's going to do it on day one. And then where are these people going to go? They're going to go into his...
And these were criminals.
Yeah.
These
are actual criminals. These are
criminals.
People who were investigated, who pleaded guilty, who... On live on social media, we're saying we're going in, we're doing this, and posted videos of themselves committing the crime.
Let me ask you,
if it's not okay for somebody to do that and steal a pack of gum, then why is it okay to go in and commit treason?
Let me ask you guys, how many things is he going to be doing on day one? I mean, is day one
it's going to be a long
It's a long list. It's a long list.
It's going to be a long.
He is very known for his work ethic, so I can see him doing a lot.
Well, if you're talking about getting rid of daylight savings time, you could just, as a president, extend the day as long as you want, because he's only going to be dictator for a day.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part.
So if your day is a full year, and by presidential decree you decide, then you can do an awful lot in that one day.
Okay.
And you can be a dictator for
let's
longer
not
than
forget that the
24
premier
hours.
of Canada's most populous province said on Wednesday that they're going to cut off energy supplies to the U.S. if the president-elect implements his proposed tariffs on Canadian goods. Okay.
Premier Ford.
Yep.
And by the way, we get 15% of our energy from Canada. So anybody who lives in northern states, northern New York, anywhere else there, I'm sorry, but you're not going to have any lights. You better go buy your generic generators right now.
Well, it says that, Premier Doug Ford of Ontario has said that we're going to cut... We are going to cut off the energy going down to Michigan, going down to New York State, and over to Wisconsin. So, we in Illinois be prepared to have all these Wisconsin people trying to migrate over to Illinois now. Okay.
So here's my question. Like, to the folks that voted for him thinking like maybe they're in the middle, they're not hard right MAGA, but they're like, he'll make the economy better, he'll do all this stuff, and it won't affect me, it's going to be paid for by somebody else. The kind of low information, middle of the road voter who just believes what they're told from the pulpit. My question is this what we need to? Is that where we're at as a country, that we need to see and feel the negative effects of bad decisions in order to teach ourselves that this stuff can really happen? I'm really not feeling too remorseful for the folks that might not have heat this winter if this were to go through.
Yeah, because
you put him in there. You
put him in there. You voted for him. No,
yeah.
It wasn't everybody in those. Right. This is the problem. It's going to hurt It's going to hurt people who didn't vote for him. It's going to hurt people who did vote for him. It's going to hurt educated voters, and it's going to hurt everybody.
Well,
but is that what we need to get right the ship?
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Analysts have warned that this dueling tariffs would harm both the U.S. and the Canadian economies.
Of course.
Canada provides natural gas to the U.S., and roughly 20% of the crude oil used by its southern neighbor. Right? Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, that site there, has forecast that U.S. gas prices could jump 30 to 40 cents a gallon and potentially up to 70 cents shortly after Trump's tariffs took effect. Okay, in 2023, folks, Ontario also directly supplied electricity to 1.5 million U.S. homes and is a major exporter of power to Michigan, Minnesota, and New York. So if you think that this game of tariffs is going to be good for the country, think again. And this guy is going to back off of this. He's known to backtrack and say, "Oh, I never really meant that. I was just joking about it."
You can't keep bullying people and not expecting them to eventually fight back. I mean, they're going to fight back. They're going to do something, and they're letting him know, if you do this, this is our plan of action. So you're not going to get away with it. So
yeah,
it's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, and this is he's the great negotiator kind of thing. But, he's saying, well, we need to secure the northern border now, that somehow, the Canadians and moose are migrating south. I don't know what's going on. The geese are migrating south. Where did the geese go?
Yeah, hey, don't you know it's a big problem?
It's a big problem, mate. This idea that we're just going to, everything's going to be, locked down and nobody can come and go. And, again, I'm not sure what he's going to do, and I don't think anybody really knows, because the last time nobody knew what the hell he was going to do. The problem is, and we've read through Project 2025 and commented on the show quite a bit, the folks behind him, these kind of bit players, they're off their frickin' gourd. When you read this document, their interpretation of what is really happening is so far away from reality, but that's the world they're operating in.
Wow.
So, it's not that they're going to go 100%. The problem is, how much damage can they do by just going 5%? By this deportation threat, by the tariff threat. By saying it as president, you create a reaction, whether you do it or not. Words do matter.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, folks. We have got about 5 minutes before the end of the show today, so we've been discussing a lot about what the new incoming administration's policies are going to be and how they are going to be impacting our day-to-day lives coming in 2025 and beyond. Be prepared to fight back, be prepared to resist, and be prepared to have your voice heard, especially in local elections. Okay, make sure that you come out and you vote for the right candidates. Congressional elections are every 2 years. Let's not forget it. And the Republicans have got a slim majority by the skin of their teeth in this present Congress. And hopefully our senators would have the spine to buck up to this incoming administration and actually represent the people rather than their own selfish interests, which happens most of the time now.
Pretty much.
So in order for us to, again, hold our people accountable, be sure that you tune in to Progressive Talk Radio wherever you are. In Chicago and nationwide, WCPT is the largest Progressive Talk radio station in the country right now. And you can also hear the show after we are done on our website, tlsradio.com. We post it over there. You can listen to us on iHeartRadio. You can listen to it on the facebook.com/TLS Radio for our Facebook page. You can listen to us on Spotify later. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts. We are all over the place now, so there's plenty of places that you can go and actually listen to the show after we are done every Sunday and interact with us. We want to get your feedback. We want to make sure that we are answerable to you. And like I've been saying from day one, this is a show of the people, by the people, for the people. We are not obligated to any political party as such or anybody in power. They don't sponsor us. We don't want their sponsorship. We want you to support the show as something that you would want to keep on almost like a public service. And we want to make sure that we are holding our elected representatives accountable for their actions.
And if by chance you have a good candidate for Person of the Week, Sheila, how do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of us by calling the station. They're TLS Chicago. And just send us the information, the name, and we will definitely be able to get them on air. There's a lot of good happening. I mean, I know there's a lot of bad things happening in the world, but there are a lot of people that are doing some good deeds, and those are the people that we want to spotlight every week on the lightning strike.
Yeah, speaking of that, yesterday we had a meeting with our friend Paul.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
Paul has been a Person of the Week in the past with us in the studio. And Paul is starting a new organization in Chicago and in Joliet, actually, called Together We Can. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a nonprofit which is going to bring people together and make sure that if we come together, we can make a change in society. This is our country, folks. We live over here. We're not going to go anywhere, no matter what Trump is saying. So we want to make sure that you are tuned in every week, Sunday, from 9 to 10 on WCPT, 8:20 a.m. Go to our website, go to our Facebook page, go to our YouTube channel. Plenty of places that you can come back and listen to us every week after we are done Sunday mornings over here.
Take care, all.
Okay, on that note, we're going to be getting out for the day today. And thank you, John. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Mark, for coming in. And hopefully we'll see you all again next week. Meanwhile, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Turn up the radio. There's some news that you should know.